Fit to Love, episode 41, Strengthening Your Intuition.
Fit to Love is physical, emotional, and spiritual fitness to achieve the happy life you deserve. From exercise to cooking, relationships, and spirituality, you'll find all the inspiration you need right here with our host, JJ Flizanes.
Welcome, everyone, to Fit to Love Freedom Fridays. Today's topic, strengthening your intuition. And we have back Dr. Lynne Boutrous. I'm so excited to have her. Dr. Lynne Boutrous is a multi-dimensional intuitive teacher and healer. Born with the gift of sight, Lynne can see in exquisite detail what is stopping you from having happiness and success in any area of your life. She offers you straightforward guidance for the heart and soul, letting you know how to transform any area of your life permanently. Lynne blends her extensive credentials and expertise in metaphysics, body-mind therapies, diet, nutrition, and with her highly developed intuitive intelligence, she can quickly identify the real source of the problem using many modalities to bring clarity and permanent resolution to the client. For 25 years, Lynne has guided the lives of successful corporate executives, celebrities, those in the media, businesses, couples, and individuals. Couples say their work with Lynne has brought them closer than they ever believed possible. Lynne's packed nationwide workshops and lectures at Omega Institute for Holistic Studies, Unity Churches, the Learning Annex, the Wellness Community, Centers for Spiritual Living, the Whole Life Expo, spiritual centers, retreats, and corporations have again and again left audiences captivated, anchored, and empowered in their truth. Lynne, welcome back.
Thank you, JJ.
Yes, it's amazing. We just had a great conversation before we started this show today, and we're going to bring you another show in the future about allergies. I'm just super excited. Lynne is a wealth of knowledge, and the intuition is so strong and so high, and I know that we all have access to our own intuition, which is why we're doing the show today. So no better person than to guide us on how we can connect and help solve our own problems faster and more efficiently by connecting to our intuition. So let's start off, Lynne, by defining intuition. For those who have heard the word but really couldn't tell you what it means, how would you describe our intuition?
Each of us has a knowing part within us of who we are, what's the right thing to do in a situation, and the things like, you know, that you've been thinking about somebody all week and then they call you. That's a form of intuition. Or I hear people saying, you know, I was sleeping and I thought that so-and-so who had passed, I felt her or him at the foot of my bed. So these are intuition. Dreams are intuition. Dreams tell you what's going on, what you need to work on. That's a whole other category of intuition. But mostly it's that deep wisdom, that inner knowing. And sometimes it's hard to remember that we have it with the chaos that we can create in our minds. I want to talk today about some of the common blocks to intuition. Intuition is your greatest gift. It is such a blessing that we have it because we have the answers at our fingertips. And once you know how to tap into that, how to hear it, tap into it, and alleviate the noise that's preventing us from hearing it, you will feel more peaceful, more calm. Your self-esteem will come up. You will feel like you know things rather than you have to prove things. The control falls away, the struggle falls away. So it is just a wonderful gift that's already downloaded in you. You just need to learn how to use that app. And today we're going to talk about that so that you can become stronger and use that innate wisdom that you've been blessed with.
So your story about intuition and discovering your own and learning how to use it, how did you know? How did you use it for others and for yourself?
Yeah. I was born with this gift inside of me and did not know how to use it productively until I was around 35, 36, and saw that I could help people in saying what I was seeing insofar as how their emotions were blocking their success in life on many levels. So basically what I see is I see numbers around the person that tell me at what age the issue started that they're speaking of, or maybe there's a bigger issue that their energy field wants me to bring to them. I see moving pictures as if you were watching a movie of something happening. So now I have the picture, I have the number, and I see the energy around them, so I see that it's centered in their gut. So maybe somebody says, I have digestion issues, and I'm looking there, and I may see the issue that started that. And that's how a small snippet of how I work with people in undoing the energy when it's turned against us. So the issue in itself may not be as awful as we think, but what we do in our minds with it may be worse than what's happened. And that's where I want to segue into this mind chatter piece that can be so destructive for all of us, and how it is the biggest block to intuition. Because if we're listening to all that negative mind chatter, there's no space for our intuition to come in. We need to create the space for it. And so today we're going to talk about how to do that. And I'm just going to briefly touch on some of the most common blocks to intuition because you may be unaware of them. And as we bring it today to your awareness, hopefully this will open a door to catch yourself in doing them. So the first one is mind chatter and how we think, which is really the ego, which its job is to keep us stuck. The more you listen to that critical, negative voice in your head, the more stuck, chaotic, confused, angry, alone, frustrated, and sad you become. So we want to get out of the mind, out of the ego, where there is no clarity and no truth. There's decision making, which is fine, but again, that's based on your mind. And if your mind is full of fear, and we'll talk about that in a minute, you're just going in circles. So if you've ever felt like you're playing ping pong within yourself rather than making a decision that feels right, your mind is probably doing its best to run you in circles so that you don't make a decision and move forward. The job of the mind, the ego, this voice, is to keep us stuck so that we do not fulfill our destiny, we do not fulfill our purpose, and we are not happy in relationships or careers because we choose something that's safe to the mind but does not grow and stretch and bring light to the spirit when we're following the mind chatter. So the first thing to do is to stop yourself and let that voice know, I am not interested in what you have to say. And as you negate it, now remember, we created the voice so we can uncreate it. So you do have the power to do this. And it does take work, but the payoff is tremendous. The fear of loss and change is another thing that prevents us from listening to the intuition. We have the illusion that what we have is okay, or we think that there's nothing better. This is my last chance for some women as far as choosing partners. I hear, I'm 30, I'm going to be over the hill, who else is going to love me? That's your ego, that's your mind chatter again. So the mind chatter, the ego, works as a placeholder for the ego and mind to ruminate in circles and to keep us distracted from moving forward. And when that your mind space is filled with fear or old unresolved emotions, we can't hear our intuition. It has no place to enter. Another one is trying to be perfect on the outside to gain love and acceptance while your spirit is malnourished and is suffering. It's not being fed. Your intuition it's like the best food for your body, mind, and your spirit. Any type of addiction usually stems from the mind. When the mind and the heart do not match, then we have addictions that form because we're trying to shut the mind down and stop the negativity, and so we go to things that will numb it or dull us out. If we have difficulty in receiving, that's another one. So people want to stay open. You want to stay open and available to receive love. Because if you're not, how will you receive the intuition? So if your heart is closed or if you're fearful of getting hurt, that's going to be really hard for you to hear your intuition because you need to change the channel to receiving mode. And last, we need to be in our bodies to receive the information rather than in our heads. We need to feel grounded, we need to feel centered, and we need to feel present in our bodies, which not many people are. They're more present in their heads. And if 90% of your energy is in your head, then again, the intuition is going to get a busy signal. So those are just some of the very common ways that we block intuition.
Great. So we have mind chatter, fear of loss and change, being perfect, not receiving, and then not being in our body, or being in our body and not being in our head, to block intuition, like you said, which is probably a lot of people. And all of us probably deal with one thing at a time and get better at one thing and always maybe have another. So in terms of how we can connect, so without looking at this list and deciding that, well, I'm not good at that one, I'm not good at that one, but I can do those things, how can I start to strengthen my intuition?
Notice how much you live in your head and where you make decisions from and why you're making decisions. And so I would take it a step further. Oh, I'm going to do whatever it is. And then ask yourself, does that serve my higher purpose? Is that the right thing for my spirit rather than, is this a decision that's going to keep me smaller? So does this decision make me larger or smaller? So that's one thing we can do. The other is to get very quiet, almost get yourself into a meditative state, and sit in that stillness using belly breath, which when belly breath is mastered, it should only take you about 3 to 5 breaths to come into your center, to be able to sit in a space where your intuition can be received. And if you would like to do that now with us, feel free to do that. And I'll just walk you through a quick exercise. So find a place where you can be still and let your belly extend and expand right around the belly button area, kind of coming out like a football. Letting the thoughts go. And begin to come into your body and feel your body. You may notice, oh, my shoulders are tight, or my back is tight, or I've got some tension in my mouth. Oh, I notice my forehead is wrinkled. I'm thinking so hard. Begin to notice your body. Begin to connect with your body. And just do a brief body scan so that you become aware of any body sensations or feelings that may want attention. And when you're doing this and you have more time, it may take 10 minutes, it may take 15 minutes for you to get to that space. The more we think, the longer it takes until we retrain ourselves and it becomes more natural. Keep letting go of the thoughts and just stay still. Being still and breathing. And as you exhale, you can let go of any stress or tension that may be in your body. Just let it all flow out with your breath. Letting it go. There's nothing you need to be doing right now. There's nothing more important than you. This is your time. This is your moment. Let the thoughts of everyone else go. Let the to-do go. Just for these moments. And feel your feet on the floor. And slow your breathing down even more. And let your body know that you are open and welcome to anything it wants to tell you. Continuing to allow your breath to take you into a more relaxed state. And one of the ways you can touch upon what's going on in your body, because our body does have messages for us, that tension in your stomach or that knot, it wants you to know something. It doesn't want to be there. So emotions and body sensations are just energy that want to leave. It wants to leave your body. It wants to support you in the free flow of your life force. And these are blocks to the life force. So welcome any intuition that wants to come forward. So check and scan your body and see if there's something that's tight or tense. And focus on that area. And ask, what is it you're trying to tell me? What is it I am to know? And sometimes you'll get an answer quickly. And sometimes it will take a little while until it gets easier. You can change the questions to reflect something that you want to know specifically. I would stay away from the word why, because that response will kick your head in gear, and that's what we don't want. And then you can ask, once you get a feeling or an answer, can you say more about that? You really want to understand the details of that. So maybe your stomach says, I feel anxious. Can you say more about that? And begin to have a conversation with your body, get to know your body, get to care for your body in a new way. And then ask, what's the first step I can take to change this? Once you know what it's all about, what's the first step I can take to change this? You can also ask, maybe there's somebody in your life that you really want to understand or get the answer to of what's going on. And you can ask a question like, can you tell me what's really going on between myself and so-and-so? And wait for an answer. How do you know? So the next question will be, how do you know when you've made contact with your intuition other than the critical voice? Because we know it's a know-it-all. That mind chatter is a know-it-all. It's got the answers to everything. It's been running your life forever. When you receive the answer and you're not sure, check your body. If you feel anxious from the answer, it is probably your critical voice. It is probably not your intuition. If you feel calm and centered and kind of that relaxing feeling in your body, you are probably at your intuition. Now, you can use your brain to put your intuition, what the answer is, into gear. But most people use it the other way around.
I think that's a really good point to stop with for one second, because this was great, and I'm enjoying my belly breaths and feeling into my body. And the first thought that came up when we started this was that it was sort of a meditation. But I also think that people believe in order to tap in that it's a lot harder than what we just did. And so I want to go over, just so that everyone feels better about doing this process more often, or when they're having an issue, and sort of get out that logical conversation about, well, it's supposed to look a certain way, like what meditation's supposed to look like. But before we do that, I just want to break and thank our sponsors for today's show.
Is your website working for you? If it's not, and you're frustrated with your brand, website, or current online results, Every Angle Media can help transform your existing business presence and build you a website that works when you're not working. Every Angle Media is a full-service web development firm that specializes in solving problems with open-source solutions. We offer complete design services, custom content management systems, fully integrated e-commerce solutions, cross-platform mobile development, and custom third-party integration, and we're here to help. Visit our site to see our work at everyanglemedia.com or give us a call at 310-798-7228. Again, that's everyanglemedia.com. Want even more up-to-date recipes, product reviews, exercises, and mental stimulation? You can find step-by-step articles from top-notch experts on invisiblefitness.com/blog. If you're busy like me, you may want the convenience of having these articles mailed directly to your inbox every month. So be sure to register your name and email at the top of the page so we can make sure you don't miss anything. Again, that's invisiblefitness.com/blog, invisiblefitness.com/blog.
Okay, we're back. And now we're talking about using these belly breaths, which to me sound like meditation. And I welcome meditation. I welcome that opportunity to silence the ego and the critical mind, to connect with the body, to allow the intuition to give me the answers that I'm searching for. But I haven't always been like this. There was a time where I didn't think meditation was possible for me because of all my fiery energy, astrological energy and passion and creativity, that slowing down didn't really even compute. It took a while, it took a couple of years. So if I'm out there and I'm that person who's listening to this and it sounds really good, what would you tell them if they're where I used to be in terms of slowing down? And do I have to sit in a Indian-style position? Do I have to be having my fingers together? Do my eyes need to be closed? Do I need to be sitting upright? Do I need to be doing this for 20 minutes? Do I need to be in the corner? Does it need to be dark? All those mind questions about, oh my gosh, I have to do this. So could you speak to that?
Well, right there is the critical voice interfering with the intuition, so that's actually pretty funny and so right on for all of us. What are we supposed to do? So there's the mind chatter right there. Don't let yourself get caught up in that. It will be whatever you make it. You can sit on a chair and sit just in a comfortable position for you. It is better when you're beginning to have your feet on the floor and your hands maybe by your side or in your lap, just not folded across your chest, because that is not a receiving mode, and we want to be in receiving mode. So have your body open. I think JJ makes a great point in the thought process, because that will shut us down. So keep your body open. I have some people lie on the floor and have their legs straight out and their arms to the side, and that seems to be a very relaxing position for some people. So try what works for you. It's all about what works for you. There's no right way to do it. It's the way that works for you. If you like music, you can put music on. If it's distracting, don't. Then just follow your breath. But as you breathe in, you can say the word in out loud. You can say that out loud. And as you breathe out, you can say the word out. That gives your mind something to do, especially if you're a beginner at this, gives your mind something to do that's actually going to help your vibration, help you get into the correct vibration to receive what the answers are. If you're a beginner and that feels challenging, what we just talked about today, one of the things you can do is get a white candle and put it eye level to you. it gives your brain something to do. And just stare at the candle and begin to let your mind go blank. As you watch the candle split and the flame looks all crazy, just sit there and breathe and stare at the candle. And that's another good and easy way to start to quiet your head. And as the thoughts come in, just let them pass through. And it will get easier and easier.
I'm so glad that you just said that. I love the candle idea, and not only the candle idea, but the idea that whatever works for you. In fact, the way that I got into and how I accepted the idea of quieting my mind and being still, sort of how I worked into that was because I used to get downloaded messages, sort of the answer to the problem or the question I was dealing with at the time while I was running and listening to music. My body was in action, my mind was distracted with the music, and all of a sudden, just out of the blue, I'd get the best, most creative ideas. And I know that's the exact opposite of what we're talking about here in terms of really getting into your body and being in touch, but it started to show me what was possible. Dancing for me, it used to be and still is very meditative, especially because I do partner dancing. I teach salsa, I perform, and it's my favorite dance because I'm following and I don't have to think. And all of a sudden my body's moving and the music's going and it just feels like a meditation to me. And so taking that energetic flow of my body and that disconnection of my brain, literally, and then running with it and having mine go, and then just allowing these downloads to come in, I went, wow, there's so much benefit. So it really was what convinced me, maybe you can try this not running and having music in the background. Maybe there's really, I see where I have a problem or an issue that I'm dealing with, that I really want to know the answer, and I know that the vibration of the answer is a different vibration than the problem. Mm-hmm. And because I didn't have any resistance to it, I'd get the answer. And my running became therapeutic for my business and for my life more than just physical. It became the way in which I'd get the best ideas.
That's great. A lot of people get them in the showers. So if you get ideas in the showers, those could be intuitive hits.
Yeah, so I definitely thank you for allowing and giving everyone permission to sort of find what works for them, but that awareness of what's going on, and when you're getting those hits or that download or that intuitive thought or picture in your mind that feels like an no matter however you get it, it's how you get it, but definitely I think that there's a lot of benefit for our bodies as well as our minds to slow down eventually and do these kinds of deep belly breaths and have that kind of practice, or looking at the candle, because we all live in a society. I just did a show the other day with Jeannie Peters talking about adrenal fatigue, and today it's always amazing to me that people don't know what adrenal fatigue is. We live in a society and a culture where we're so fast, we've got so many technology and everything is so advanced, and that's great, but the downside of that, the payoff, is that we live in a sort of hyperactive state of not having balance or calmness. We've forgotten what that's like. So I think this practice is very valuable for that. So just in conclusion, so to strengthen our intuition, do we all have the ability to be closer to a gift like you, Lynne, or is it just a few people that have a gift?
Clairvoyance is different than you're kind of born with it, or you have a life-changing experience that brings it to you. But everybody does have intuition, just not clairvoyance. So each of you has intuition. It's there. It wants to connect with you. It wants to be a huge part of your life. And if you will allow it, you will feel so good within and about yourself.
Excellent. Now, I know you have a CD, if anyone's interested, that can help. Well, two things. First, you have a practice in Southern California that if people who live want to come and meet with you, but you also do phone sessions. But even before that step, you have a CD. Can you tell us about your CD?
I do. It's a CD. It's 72 minutes, and it is how to listen to your intuition. So it talks about the blocks in detail. And then there's about a 20-minute meditation that guides you through certain questions to get the answers that you're looking for.
And how do people buy it?
Oh, they can reach me through my website, which is LYNNEBOUTROSS.com, or call 424-234-8730. I also teach classes at my office, and one of the classes is how to develop your intuition. So you can also contact me through the website if you're interested in that too.
Excellent. For those of you that have enjoyed today's show, Lynne and I also did a show called Connections Between Our Emotions and Disease. Make sure to go to fittolove.tv. You can find all of the past show recording links there. So stay tuned if you enjoyed this show. Lynne, thank you so much for being a guest again.
Thank you.
Looking for an engaging and inspiring speaker? Does your group need a good jolt of positive thinking? Look no further than JJ Flizanes. Visit her site to check out her most requested topics and video examples. jjflizanes.com. That's jjflizanes.com.
Break the vicious cycle of emotional eating and take back your power over food with Dr. Lisa Gelper. Visit her site at poweroverfood.com to read her articles, watch her videos, sign up for her monthly email tips, and check out her current classes. The Fit to Love podcast show offers you 6 days a week of helpful content to achieve the happy life you deserve. Movement Mondays and Tasty Tuesdays are weekly videocasts, while Wellness Wednesdays, Thoughtful Thursdays, Freedom Fridays, and Sexy Saturdays are audio-only shows themed every week to address your holistic life and needs. If the show inspired you, we would love for you to share it and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining us today. Head on over to fittolove.tv for recaps of every show, resources, and to join the community. That's FIT2LOVE.tv. Have a fit and fabulous day.